Hello, I'm Panos Kotsathanassis, and this is Asian Movie Pulse Interviews. Today I'm here with Mr. Adam Pak, whose film tape is screening currently. How are you, Adam?
Good, good, doing very well, Panos. It's a pleasure to be here. You've interviewed many people that I admire.
Okay, good, good. Thank you, thank you. So, tell me a bit about your role in the movie. How would you describe Wink, let's say, to someone who has not seen the movie?
Wing is a very, very complex character. He was heartbroken some 15 years ago, and his life has been spiraling tragically until now. And in this film, a couple of hours in the film, that he gets a chance to kind of question his love, question his previous love, that is, question his previous love, question his best friend to kind of find out what's going on. Of course, he has his ideas about what went on, but he kind of wants to tease out the truth. And he is very stubbornly one-minded in tricking, I wouldn't use the word tricking, fooling his friend into falling into Wing's trap and hopefully winning his love again. It's very romantic from his point of view, but let's just say he's quite a sinister character.
So, you don't like him, your character?
Oh, no, no, no. I love the character. It's just
Ah,
that when I was reading the script, there's just a lot of things, especially when you translate to Cantonese. There's a lot of things that, let's say, you're not taught in school to do, or it's you'll be struck by thunder if you do this sort of thing. And he
uh-huh.
kind of almost does everything. So that's why I say he's a little bit of a sinister character.
Okay, but let's say if you met him in real life, could you be friends with him?
Oh, you know what? Absolutely, because I wouldn't know. He would have a mask on. He'd be my best friend until he reveals, until I upset him and he reveals his real face, his real soul. So you get along great with him, but you never know when he's gonna scratch your back with a knife.
Okay, okay. And what drew you to the character? Why did you decide to play this role? And also, in general, what kind of roles do you search for nowadays?
Sorry, that's just my little corgi. He's just
Okay,
barking in the corner.
okay.
Quiet, you. Uh, Typically, I search for characters that break out of my comfort zone. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I'm from Australia, and now I abode in Hong Kong, and I do Cantonese roles. And in Hong Kong, they kind of consider me, a generally good guy character with a beard. So sometimes I play bad roles. You kind of see him being good, but then he plays bad roles, and it's sort of I'm sort of typecasted. So when this role came up, this is just a bad, not a bad guy, but a tricky guy. He's lost. He's a bit of a drug dealer, and there's lots and lots of dialogue. And for me, it was really, really attractive because my Cantonese isn't so great. I'm not considered the most fluent in Cantonese, so it was a challenge for me to pick up this role to kind of really try and prove that as an actor, all you need to do is to know the idiosyncratic behaviors. You need to know your script, the personality that you're playing, and you could do it through any language. And that's Bishan. I really need to thank Bishan for giving me this opportunity to play the character. And also, Ethan Hawke, I love the guy as an actor, as a performer, and I watched tape back in the blockbuster days. It wasn't a hugely advertised film. I was just scrolling through, and Uma Thurman, Robert Leonard, hey, this has got to be good. So I watched it, and I was blown away by their performances. For one, there was no car chases, there's no samurai swords, there's no blood. It's just raw emotion, raw. You're in their mindscapes as opposed to their landscapes, and these combining factors really, really drew me to do this role.
Hmm, hmm. Okay. And since you mentioned the typecasting, is in general, would you say Is it good? Because, okay, I guess you end up playing same roles frequently, but at the same time, people who are typecasted seem to get jobs more easily.
Well, no, there's always a good side and a bad side.
Mm.
But in Hong Kong, I just watched the prosecutor one,
Uh-huh.
the podcast that you did. I'm actually in that. I play the bearded gangster under the biggest gangster, Chilam.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I from when I started doing films in TV series, it's a different story. But in films, mainly I play the antagonist. And I guess I'm typecasted there, and kind of power play roles, those kind of foreigners to Hong Kong because I speak English, foreigners to Hong Kong, but are powerful, and yet I have a physique about me, so my character isn't 100% hated, so that's why I guess they give me these roles to play. So it's good and bad, I'd say. That's why this tape with this character, I kind of jumped at it
Hmm.
because it was so different to what I usually do.
And considering that the film is also based on a stage play, there is this value about the film that there is kind of stage play aspect to it, and it's very dialogue heavy. Was that difficult for you?
I'm not going to boost my ego and say that was easy. No, no, no. It was absolutely difficult. Bishan knew this, and when I think Selena and Kenny, the other two actors, already were selected, and I was the final one to be selected. And he came to me because in Hong Kong, I'm known for doing a lot of homework because my Cantonese language skills isn't as good as everyone else. I need to do a lot of translations. I need to do a lot of homework before I take on any role. And they knew this, and they also knew that Wing was very dialogue heavy. So Bishan kind of took a deep breath and kind of thought, hey, let's give this guy a chance, and I'm really thankful for that. But once I got into it, I understood what he meant. It wasn't so much a compliment because you did a lot of homework. It's a necessity to do a lot of homework. But I didn't, I can't take all that credit. Selena, Amy in the film did a lot of the translations from English, the dialogue from English to Cantonese, and put a little bit of a Hong Kong flavor to it. And she's a bit of a trooper, her. She recorded all the lines, be it John's, mine, herself, and she showed us how to use these apps because we didn't have a lot of time to complete the whole theatrical practice, so to speak. We were short on time, and during that time it was COVID, so we couldn't see each other constantly to practice. When we did, of course, it was very necessary too, because blocking was a key part of the performance. But anyway, like I said, Selena recorded all the lines, and in fact, a funny story, when I listened to the lines, I learned it all, and I went to the set and we were practicing with Selena, and she's like, Adam, why are you bringing a flamboyant aspect to this character? He's supposed to be a really tough man. And I said, wait, I didn't. Oh, it must have been because I'm listening to your voice the whole time, and unconsciously, that happens when you go over lines so much, the character rubs off onto you. In this case, it was her voice that rubbed off onto me and a little bit of her personality. And obviously a lot of things that we had to fix in that short amount of time. But I'm really grateful for her and Bishan's help, also Kenny, to bring this Wing character alive. So it was a big challenge for me, this character.
And learning all those lines was difficult, or?
Well, it was very daunting, very daunting. When we first started reading the script, even in Zoom meetings, I was constantly on script and I couldn't get off script, and I was really, really getting worried. But put your best foot forward always, and just I was selected, and just believe in them, believe in the cast, believe in the director. And when we got into when the COVID was lifted, I mean the restrictions were lifted, we went into practice in a studio setting, and once Bashan got us blocking, the script rolled out a lot easier. Because if you just sit here and just rehearse like Mark Wahlberg, how he can just rattle off like 3 pages of text. He's a really, really respectable actor. For me, it's easier to walk to a certain location, to bring up an emotion, to blurt out a whole new slab of text, and then move to a new location, and then I can change my persona and then rattle off the next couple of pages. It works better for me when we did that. Thank God Prashant really knew what he was doing. So after we went in, we did some blocking. It kind of got a lot smoother.
Okay. And also, your character undergoes a transformation throughout the movie. How he begins, how we see him in the beginning, and how the whole thing ends is very difficult. Was that difficult for you to change within this setting? Essentially, you portray almost 2 different characters.
At least 2.
At least, yeah.
I think Steve Belber should be congratulated for writing a really, really solid script. Of course, I did my own character designs and my sectioning, but I think his story really, really shines through. In fact, where I kind of put a little my 2 cents in is when Winston starts to change clothes. When in the beginning he's just wearing a robe, and then he just wears a singlet, and then he dresses up a little bit more when Amy comes along. I think that is where I try to. For me, it helps to kind of wear different clothes or different aspects to kind of bring out other different parts of the character. And of course, the selection of clothes wasn't 100% by me, but all those clothes I wear at home. I'm from a surfer background, so wearing those beads and wearing a shirt, these are really, really comfortable for me. So I was able to rely on some props to kind of bring out more aspects of Winston that aren't necessarily in the original. Well, when I say original, I mean the film by Richard Linklater, that version. And I don't know. I think we were able to bring out quite a different texture for Winston in this respect, and the many facades that he kind of hides or displays purposely.
And also, there is a lot of changes in the dynamics between you and Kenny Kwan's character throughout. So, how did you work on that with him throughout the movie to change how your characters interact with each other, let's say?
With Kenny, it was actually really, really, really nice to work with him. I've been listening to his songs since I was learning Cantonese, so it was really, I was really, really happy to work with him. And I didn't think that he'd be so down to earth, and because he got the script a little later than Amy and Selena and I. And when he saw the script, it's like, Adam, we gotta meet up. There's a lot of stuff here. And through rehearsing with him constantly, we were able to really bring out a spark that I didn't think that we would be able to do in the beginning. And I became good friends with him afterwards. In fact, the flower pots here all belong to him. He gave them to me. So we're quite good friends, and I think that really shows in the dynamic that we have in the relationship between our characters, especially in the fight scene, I believe. Like it's only when you become real friends that you can kind of, really lay into him or get frustrated with him. Of course, the shooting hours that we did were intense. It was a 6-day shoot, so the frustration, it was apart from the character, apart from the actors, apart from being in a one room. The frustration of being in one room for so long. So I think that kind of helped the situation too, the energy and the tiredness, and the thick conflict that we had. I mean, like in the beginning, where we're the best of friends, right? And then halfway through, after getting a confession out, I reveal myself, and then he's like, "You bastard! How could you do that to me?" And I think I really like the dynamic that Kenny and I have, and yeah, really, really, really happy with the sparks that we got onto the final product.
And your collaboration with Selena during the shooting, how would you describe that?
Selena is actually another good actress that I respect. Not only is she famous in Hong Kong, Canada, England, I'm at the UK and even Beijing now. She's a stage actress and she sings and she acts. She's very multi-talented. She's great. Because also I've been watching her TV series for a long time. I knew she was a great actress, but I didn't dive into her past and kind of realize that her background is very similar to me. She grew up in Canada, I believe, and Cantonese isn't like the written language of Chinese isn't one of her strong points either. So I guess with her, even though I'm pretty sure I'm older than her, but she became like a mentor to me in helping me with Cantonese and kind of dealing with daily aspects of being an actor under a lot of pressure. Because she did TV series a lot, and they not only have really crazy hours, but they have habits of changing the whole scene with a moment's notice, and you get like 10 new, freshly printed pages of script that you need to immediately be able to digest and then regurgitate. So she actually taught me a lot through the process.
And which one was the most difficult scene for you to shoot?
Difficult scene. I would say because Selena, she really knows what she wants, and the director also has crystal eyes that kind of see through your performance, even though the whole performance is in Cantonese. But he knew exactly where I was being, where I could have given a little bit more, where I was being a little bit superficial. So he fine-tuned everything. There's this one scene where I kind of confessed to Amy that I've kept her key ring for all this time, and I still love you, and that you know, if you want to be together, I would love to be together. Like I'm angry and in love with you at the same time. When after Kenny leaves and leaves for a while, that is, I mean, John leaves for a while and then comes back. In that moment, it was because like I was just constantly arguing with Kenny the whole time, fooling him. And while I've got that game set up for the last couple of days, that the separating of my achievement and my trickery of Kenny, and straight away becoming true again. I think that transition was like jumping off a cliff. It was huge, and in that moment, I think trying to give genuine feelings back to Selena and giving a good confession of love was a big challenge for me, because ultimately obviously the dialogue speaks through, but I had to change the tone, I had to change the texture of Winkson in that time. And for me, that, I mean, they both have a lot of experience. For me, that was very new, and I'm glad the whole team was supportive. But we pulled through. We pulled through.
Okay. And do you have a favorite scene?
Favorite scene? I've a couple of favorite scenes, but I love acting with the non-animate object of the bath, the toilet. I've never acted with a toilet so much. I mean, I threw up in a toilet before in real life, but to kind of put my hands in there, you know, constantly, I'm so glad that toilet actually wasn't a real one. I mean, this is Hong Kong. I mean, typically we work on real sets and everything is real, so I'm glad that they actually made a prop for me. I have actually do at least 3 scenes with the bathroom, either using it or getting the phone out, or in the end digging the phone out, because that was put into a different scene. And I never thought an inanimate object could have so much character and life. You know, it was constantly against me. You know, it was with trying to flush the narcotics down there, it'd just be against me the whole way. So I think I really enjoyed working with the sets. They did a real good job building the apartment and putting everything together, making it look so authentic for Hong Kong.
And also the film touches on some very heavy topics like manipulation of trauma and the Me Too movement. So was it difficult for you to approach these heavier social undercurrents, let's say? Like, were you extra careful on those scenes, let's say?
Well, to be honest, when I watched it the first time, back, the Richard Linklater one, it didn't occur to me because, like, I was quite young. I didn't really understand what it was to kind of intimidate someone and have them to unwillingly submit to you. I never. These are very heavy topics, like you said, and I just kind of focused on the slapstick, dark humor part of the drugs and how Amy was really, really smart in the story. But when revisiting it this time, I mean, this is when I was first approached with the character, Bishan and Selena kind of really created the foundation for Wing, which is this time we're doing this as a Me Too issue, and we want to bring to light this very taboo topic, especially here in Asia. Are you okay with this? And then in that moment, it just ding. It all just made sense. I mean, I understand the story before, but now it's kind of like, okay, there was a hidden, deeper meaning to the story that we need to bring out. And I think it's in that moment that Wingson, as a character, kind of made more sense to me, because of course I read the dialogue, and the dialogue is basically him trying to discover the truth about what really happened. And I kind of play the role of, I'm kind of speaking for the audience. Some of the audience that watch this hopefully haven't been through too traumatic of a situation in life. But I know that it brings up a lot of big issues and a lot of topics that can be talked about. In truth, a lot of people don't speak up or have been silenced for things that it's not really their fault, and they don't want to talk about it. And I think Wingson brings out that no matter how far it was in the past, or no matter how traumatic it was, or how people have been dismissing it, you can speak up about it, and you can question whether or not particular issues are meant to happen, or can you speak up about it, or it can be brought to justice. So it's very heavy topics that we're talking about. And I think when Selena, when they were approaching me, and as Wingson kind of developed, I'm kind of speaking for the people, bringing out things that aren't really spoken about here. And I'm really happy to have this chance to kind of give a voice to, or shed some light to this situation.
And what is your opinion of the Hong Kong movie industry at the moment? It seems to be picking up again, or is it just my impression?
Well, I have confidence in my choice in being an actor in Hong Kong, and we will always thrive no matter what. However, having said that, it's been a bit quiet, but it hasn't stopped completely. I'm very grateful to still be working. Recently, but maybe the work nature has changed. Maybe not all of it's been done in Hong Kong. There's a lot of collaboration projects. Recently, I just did one with my home company, Mandarin Motion Pictures, and a Malaysia-based company. So we completed a film there. That was a great experience, and I'm just about to go to China to work on another new project with technology that I've never worked with before. Still innovation. I think Hong Kong filmmaking is always going to be there. It's just a little bit of a flux right now, and like I said, it's always going to be there.
Okay, and last question, I guess, since you mentioned it, how was it working in the Prosecutor, such a huge film?
We were working with Donnie. When I first saw him on set, I shook his hand, "Hi, Donnie," and then uncontrollably, after he got changed, he came back on set. I said, "Hi, Donnie." I did it again, and Donnie is like one of the most like the most warm people I've ever met on set. Of course, he has his artistry. He knows exactly what he wants, but he's a very kind-hearted person, and I I didn't realize that he was so American. I mean, I know that he's grown up in America, but there's a lot of Hong Kong people that grew up in America that aren't so American. But he's so American. He's so chill, so from the kind of really friendly attitude, and that kind of helped. That kind of helped. Like I think I actually need to thank you because there was the one scene where I argue with my brother, and he was there, and as a directing the scene, he kind of said, "Look, Adam, I love what you're doing, but you're gonna have to speak some English. You're gonna have to throw some English in there. I know the character wasn't really written to be English, but we can change certain things," and that really helped the scene so much. Being able to to kind of swear in Cantonese and swear in English at the same time, freedom of choice. It kind of makes the character more three-dimensional, and it kind of highlights Wingson in the character I play in Tape. His Cantonese is mostly Cantonese, and the English that he speaks, it's like as if a local would speak that Cantonese. So I think Cantonese has always been an interesting journey for me, and I'm really happy to have worked with Donnie and have him support me in such a way for the prosecutor. So really, really happy and grateful.
Okay, great. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Panos, and I love your podcast, and I look forward to more good interviews from you, especially from the people I admire.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Have a nice night, I guess.
You.
Okay, bye.
Have a nice afternoon. You have a nice evening.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.